Only the eighth, consciousness as retribution, which satisfies these four requirements, is perfumable, not such things as mental activities. As for the requirements of the perfumer, first, it is born and then perishes. That dharma is able to perfume if it is impermanent, if it can function, and if it produces and nourishes habit energy. This excludes unconditioned dharmas, which never change and do not produce or nourish. Second, it has a superior functioning. It can perfume if it is born and perishes, has great creative power, and can attract habit energy. This excludes the eighth, consciousness as retribution and mental activities, etc., because their power is slight and they are therefore unable to perfume.
Third, it increases and decreases. A dharma can perfume if it possesses superior functioning, can increase and decrease, and can hold and implant habit energy. This excludes the perfect, good dharmas of Buddhahood, which neither increase nor decrease and therefore cannot perfume. If they could perfume, they would not be perfect, and the fruit of Buddhahood would consist of different grades of strong and weak in the beginning and later. Fourth, it is united with that which it perfumes and evolves along with it. A dharma can perfume if it exists simultaneously with the perfumable, exists in the same place, and is neither identical with nor different from it. This excludes other bodies and prior and subsequent moments, where there is no union and hence no ability to perfume. The only things satisfying these four requirements and thus able to perfume are the first seven consciousnesses and their mental activities, which possess a superior functioning and increase and decrease. Perfuming occurs when these seven forms of consciousness as perfumers are born with and perish with the consciousness that is perfumed. The seeds in the perfumed consciousness are made to be generated and grow, like perfumed sesame, hence the name perfuming.
When the consciousness that perfumes, etc., is born from seeds, it is capable of being a cause and perfuming and creating seeds. Three dharmas, the engendering seed, consciousness in action, and the created seeds, evolve together and act as simultaneous causes and results of each other, just as a candle wick produces flame and flame produces a burning wick, or just as bundles of reeds support each other. Cause and result are simultaneous, with no violation of reason. The perfumer creates seeds, the seeds create actual dharmas, just as the two reciprocal and simultaneous causes produce a result useful to man, according to the small vehicle. Seeds produce other seeds of the same species, which is similar to causes of the same species, subhagahichu, attracting results of similar species, nisvandaphala. These two forms of generation are of the nature of conditions as cause for the result, and apart from them no other dharmas are causes. To call something else a cause is merely a metaphorical use of the term. These are the characteristics of all seeds in summary.
9. Mode of activity and perceptions. What is the mode of activity and object of perception of this, alaya, consciousness? Vasubandhu says, that which it grasps and holds, its location, and its perceptions are imperceptible. Perceptions are its mode of activity, because the mode of activity of this consciousness is to perceive. Location means place, it is the world receptacle, because it is the supporting location of sentient beings. That which it grasps is twofold, the seeds and the body provided with organs. Seeds refer to images, names, or words, and the perfuming of imagination. Body provided with organs refers to physical organs and the support of the organs. These two are what is grasped by consciousness. They are incorporated into the substance of consciousness and share its tranquility and dangers. Both that which is grasped and the location are its objects.
10. The two parts of consciousness when, due to the power of causes and conditions, the substance of alaya consciousness is born, it transforms internally into seeds, and the body provided with organs, and externally into the world receptacle. These things that are its transformations become its own object of perception, alambana, because its mode of activity appears in reliance on them. The term perception means that the eighth consciousness, as retribution, has the function of perceiving its objects. The function of perceiving is the seeing part of this consciousness.
When the substance of this consciousness is born in an impure state, it appears resembling two parts, an apparent object or seen part and as the apparent subject or second part. The same occurs with mental activities. In short, it appears, when transformed, as both dharmas and as cognition. As apparent object it is the seen part, and as the apparent subject it is the seeing part. If mind and its activities did not have the seen part, they would not have the ability to take their own objective realm as an object. Or, each would take as an object every kind of object, and one objective realm would be like all others. If mind and its activities did not have the seeing part, they would know nothing, just as space does not, or else we would have to concede that space is a knowing subject. Consequently, mind and its activities must have these two parts. As a scripture says, everything is consciousness only, there is no real object of consciousness. The subjective and objective parts of consciousness evolve naturally.
11. Three parts of consciousness. As for the doctrine that there is an objective realm apart from consciousness, this means that 1. The external realm is the object of consciousness, 2. The seen part of consciousness is its mode of activity, and 3. The seeing part of consciousness is the thing itself, because seeing is the character of the very substance of mind and its activities. Mind and its activities have the same support and object, because their mode of activity and objective images are similar. Associated objects are equal in number li 1 to 1, but their characteristics are different, because activities of mind such as consciousness, feeling, thought, etc., are different in their activity. However, if we grasp the fact that there is no objective realm apart from consciousness, then we must say that the seen part of consciousness is the object and the seeing part is the mode of activity. The substance that serves as support for both the seeing and seen parts of consciousness is called the self-authenticating part, svasamvitlibhaga, of consciousness. If this did not exist, there would be no recollection of mind and its activities, just as there would be no recollection of objects never perceived. Mind and its activities have the same objective basis. The characteristics of their objects are similar, but their modes of activity differ, because the functions of perceptions, etc., are different. The things in question, i.e., consciousness and its activities, are equal in number, one activity, one object, but their characteristics differ, because the substances of consciousness, thought, etc., are different.
When mind and its activities are born one after another, a rational analysis will show that each has these three parts, because the known, the means of knowing, and the fruit of knowing are different, and besides, the image and the knower must have a supporting substance. According to a verse in the Pramana Samkhya, the image that resembles an external object is the known object, that which grasps the image and that which is self-authenticating are the knower and the fruit of knowing. The substance of these three is not differentiated.
12. For parts of consciousness, if we make an even finer distinction concerning mind and its activities, we can say that there are four parts. 3 are as explained above, and the fourth is the part that authenticates self-authentication, svasamvidisamvidibhaga. If this fourth part did not exist, what would authenticate the third part, self-authentication? The knowing part also must be authenticated. Also, the self-authenticating part would have no fruit, and knowers must have results, or fruit. It cannot be said that the seeing part of consciousness is the fruit of the third part, because the seeing part is sometimes categorized as non-direct perception. Consequently, the seeing part of consciousness does not authenticate the third part, because that which authenticates its own substance must be direct perception. Of these four parts, the first two are external, and the latter two are internal. The first part, the seen part, is only an object of perception, while